The views and opinions expressed on Speaking My Mind are solely those of the host and are intended for commentary and discussion purposes. This content is not presented as fact, but as personal perspective. This commentary is protected by the First Amendment.
My name is LV, and I'm speaking my mind. You know, every generation seems to get its own version of a media takeover drama. Back in the 1980s, it was cable television cowboy Ted Turner. Today, it's the parade of billionaires, investors, private equity firms, and media executives who seem determined to own everything that isn't nailed down. The funny thing is that we've seen this movie before. In 1985, Ted Turner decided that owning CNN, WTBS, the Atlanta Braves, and a growing cable empire wasn't enough. He sets its sights on CBS. Now imagine that for a second. The man who gave us 24-hour news wanted one of the big three networks. Wall Street immediately reacted like someone had announced that a tornado was headed toward Manhattan. CBS executives fought back. Investors pushed back. Regulators watched closely. The financial risks becomes enormous. And eventually the effort collapsed before Ted Turner could get control. Ted Turner never got CBS. But here's the interesting part. At the time, many critics thought Turner was dangerous because he was too unconventional, too loud, too ambitious, too unpredictable. Yet in hindsight, Turner was at least trying to build something. Love him or hate him, he launched CNN. He invested in original programming. He expanded cable television. He had a vision, even if it occasionally looked like it had been scribbled on a napkin during a 3-hour lunch. Fast forward to today. CBS is no longer the powerful independent giant it once was. It sits inside the corporate maze known as Paramount Global. Now comes the Skydance merger, backed by the Ellison family and a collection of investors looking to reshape the company. And unlike Ted Turner's failed attempt, this deal appears headed toward completion. The question is simple. What exactly comes next? Supporters say Skydance can modernize Paramount. Critics worry that another round of consolidation means fewer independent voices and more pressure on news organizations. Meanwhile, many viewers are watching CBS News and wondering whether journalism is becoming just another department in a giant entertainment company. That's where this story gets interesting. When Ted Turner tried to buy CBS, people feared one eccentric media mogul would have too much influence. Today, we barely blink when giant corporations merge into even larger corporations. One billionaire wanted a network. Now billionaires want entire ecosystems, studios, streaming services, sports rights, news divisions, production companies, television stations, and enough content to keep us glued to screens 24 hours a day. The irony is almost impossible to ignore. The same industry that once treated Ted Turner like an unruly outsider now routinely embraces mergers so large that they make Turner's ambitions look almost quaint. Ted wanted a network. Today's media giants want everything. And that's why I keep asking the same question. Who benefits? The shareholders? The executives? The investors? Certainly not the local newsroom that's being asked to do more with fewer people. Certainly not the viewer who keeps paying more for fewer choices. And certainly not the audience that simply wants news without wondering who owns the person delivering it. Maybe the Skydance deal succeeds. Maybe it revitalizes Paramount. Maybe it becomes a model for the future. Or maybe it becomes another chapter in the long history of media companies getting bigger while somehow delivering less. As for Ted Turner, history maybe judged him differently than his critics did back then. He wasn't trying to hide his ambitions. He told everyone exactly what he wanted. That's more than I can say for some of today's corporate elephants wandering through the media jungle. At least when Ted charged through the room, you knew where the noise was coming from. These days, the elephants are quieter. They're wearing expensive suits. And somehow they keep convincing us that every merger is about helping viewers. Sure it is. And I'm sure the next commercial break will be shorter too. To sum this out, Ted Turner wanted to own CBS. Today's media conglomerates want to own CBS. The movie studio, the streaming service, the sports rights, the archives, the intellectual property, and probably the couch you're sitting on while watching it. Progress, they call it. Yeah. My name is LV, and I have spoken my mind.